#jump to conclusions too quickly, what a mistake. The wrong mindset can put you in a positive or negative emotional state. If you're constantly jumping to conclusions, you will always feel like your life is bad. If you're able to stop yourself from jumping to conclusions and take the time to really process what's happening, it can lead to better, more confident decisions. What is jumping to quick conclusions? When we jump to conclusions too quickly, we make assumptions about someone or something without having all the facts. This can lead to misunderstandings and conflict. It's important to take the time to gather information and think things through before coming to a conclusion. Why do we jump to conclusions too quickly? There are a few reasons why we might jump to conclusions too quickly. Sometimes we do it because we're afraid of what might happen if we don't come to a conclusion quickly. Other times, we might do it because we want to be right and we are impatient. Whatever the reason, jumping to conclusions too quickly can lead to problems. For one thing, we might make the wrong decision if we don't take the time to think things through. We might also miss out on important information if we don't give people a chance to explain themselves fully. And, of course, jumping to conclusions can lead to arguments and conflict with others. So next time you find yourself wanting to jump to a conclusion, take a deep breath and try to think things through first. It might take a little longer, but it will usually be worth it in the end. The problem with jumping to conclusions too quickly. We've all been there. We see or hear something that doesn't seem right and we immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion. We assume that the person who cut us off in traffic is a jerk, or that our boss is upset with us because they're giving us a funny look. Jumping to conclusions too quickly can lead to all sorts of problems. For one, it can cause us to react in ways that we wouldn't otherwise. We might get angry at the driver who cut us off, or say something to our boss that we regret later. It can also lead us to make bad decisions. If we're always assuming that people are out to get us, or that things are going to turn out badly, we're much more likely to make choices that reflect those assumptions. So what can we do to stop ourselves from jumping to conclusions too quickly? One thing is to try and take a step back and look at the situation objectively. Ask yourself if there's another explanation for what you're seeing or hearing. And even if there isn't, try and give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the driver who cut you off just didn't see you, or maybe your boss is having a bad day. Ways to calm oneself when they are about to jump to a conclusion. We all know the feeling. We're in the middle of a conversation and suddenly, we feel like we just have to say something. We blurt out a response without even thinking about it, and then instantly regret it. We've all been there, but why does it happen? When we're in the middle of a discussion, our brains are working overtime to try and come up with the quickest, most clever response possible. And sometimes, in our haste to sound smart, we jump to conclusions without thinking them through first. It's a common mistake, but luckily there are ways to avoid it. Next time you feel yourself getting ahead of yourself, try one of these calming techniques. Take a deep breath and count to 10 before you speak. This will give you time to gather your thoughts and say something more thoughtful. Try to restate what the other person has said before you respond. This will help you make sure you understand their argument before you start rebutting it. Ask questions. If you're unsure about what someone means or where they're going with their point, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. It's better to sound interested than foolish. Tips on how not to jump to conclusions too quickly. It's easy to jump to conclusions without thinking things through. We see something, we react, and then we move on. But sometimes, jumping to conclusions can lead to big mistakes. Here are some tips on how to avoid jumping to conclusions too quickly. Take a step back and examine the situation. What do you really know? Are you missing any important information? Try to see both sides of the issue. There may be more than one way to interpret what you're seeing. Don't make assumptions. Just because something looks a certain way doesn't mean that's what it is. Ask questions. If you're not sure about something, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Think before you speak or act. Once you've said or done something, it's hard to take it back. Taking a little time to think things through can help you avoid making rash decisions that you may later regret. So next time you're tempted to jump to conclusions, take a deep breath and consider all the facts first. There you have it, friends. If you like the content of this video, go ahead, comment below, like the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more videos to come. Thank you for watching this video.